Let's talk about books, Shorty. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the weird things and the good things that we read. Let's talk about books.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome to Adjacent Book Club. I am here with the fabulous Shell Bell. She is south of the river. I am north of the river. And we have sad news today. If you are looking at the news, you've heard of the devastation that's happened in Kerr County near Kerrville and Hunt, Texas, with the flooding of the Guadalupe River and where many young girl campers, camp counselors, camp owners are missing or have been recovered. And we are so saddened by this news. And Shelley and I have been just devastated. This is a really sad time in Texas, of course, but across the world. I know many people are praying and hoping for the families and the little kiddos and the owners of the camp and the workers of the camp. So, and then the surrounding areas, it's just devastating. We have very close friends who one of her kids' best friends, the little girl, passed away. And I know they're not alone. There's a student from our school that's still missing right now. They have not recovered her. So this is devastating for us. And we hope that all of you out there are praying for the families and for the kids, and just, for all the workers right now that are and the helpers. Oof, this has been rough.
It's not getting as much news for obvious reasons, but the flooding did not just hit Kerr County.
Right.
We've had major flooding all around Austin and the Georgetown area, and New Braunfels. The Frio is running rampant right now, and up in the Leander area.
Oh yes,
up near Lake LBJ, and bridges are wiped out, and 1431, which is a major in and out for that area, is gone.
Yeah,
lots of roads are destroyed, lots of houses, lots of people unhomed, unexpectedly. I just saw a video of Georgetown and, some apartments that it's up to the second floor up in Georgetown. And if you're not familiar with Austin, Georgetown, we have a huge retirement community, and a lot of our elderly friends and family live in the Georgetown area, and so they don't have the capability of moving as quickly as some of us. And so just a lot of devastation in Central Texas and more rain on the way. And, just shocking, just overwhelming. And, you know, living in Central Texas, Jody's whole life, part of my life, we get these floods a lot, and we're always shocked by that. But it happens more often. It's part of our system, and growing up, Shoal Creek flooded all the time, Onion Creek flooded all the time, all the places we camp, have flooded. Adrian's been camping down in Palmetto, which is on the Guadalupe, and a rainstorm came in, and they evacuated as quickly as possible, but it is fast and furious. And whenever something like this happens, I do a huge gut check, and I think, what do I learn from this experience? How can I support the people struggling? It's definitely a time to reflect and reach out to your loved ones and hug your loved ones and really lean in to family and friends. I was out of town with Coulter. We were up in Waxahachie during all of these rains. And it just, my reflection was, I'm so dependent on something externally telling me, stop, turn around, don't
This is
cross
safe.
water. Or,
Yeah.
The park systems here have to shut down all the time because of the water levels. And I love like waterfalls. And so I'm like, come on, I just want to see the waterfall. And it's like, no, I'm trying to keep you safe, clown. And,
Yeah.
but that external, waiting for an external alarm to warn me when I know it's an unsafe situation. And I even, we were near Cedar Hill, a state park, a beautiful state park, and a storm blew in, and there were white caps on the lake. The lake was filled with people,
Mhm.
and you could see the storm coming, the lightning coming, and the white caps, and everybody's just sitting in the water. And
Yeah.
and I see the storm coming and know, there are going to be roads that I'm not going to be able to cross if I don't
Yeah.
get out of there quickly. And I stop and take a video, and it's like, what the hell are you doing?
Well, I think you're right. We're getting so prone to external emergency, people telling us this is not safe, that we're not always listening to our internal voice and our internal dialogue that's like, yeah, maybe not do that. But again, I heard this person the other day on like TikTok, and she was like, what is it about when it rains in Texas and nobody knows what to do during the rain? And I'm like, well, this is why, because we do have flooding. We are flood. When you don't get a lot of rain normally, it doesn't absorb very quickly. Also, the roads are super slick because the oil and the gas is like accumulated, and then the rain comes and it makes the roads really slippery. And so a lot of people are like, I don't want to add to the EMS or the fire department or the police department, like having to save me. So, like there is definitely a push for not getting out that much when it's raining. We are very much like cats in the world because we've been burned before. But this flood is devastating. It's not, we've had other floods to this degree, but I think the amount of water that has come off of the Guadalupe River, off of the banks, and it was over 100 billion gallons of water that dropped on July 4th. 100 billion gallons of water. And that was just on that day. That's like 10, 15 feet of water rising and moving rapidly. And, and I did see people like you're saying, like on TV or whatever, on the news, like standing there watching it a little too close. I don't want anything bad to happen to people. And again, prayer is powerful, and I've been praying for rain, but I kept saying, please let there be rain, but not where it hurts anyone. I don't want anyone to get hurt. And this is just devastating on a whole new level.
It's awful.
On top of that, Shelley, there's so many great people out there that do great things.
Oh my gosh, the first responders and all the volunteers and everybody going, getting donations to Kerr so quickly. And it's just so powerful. The giving is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I beg everybody not to point fingers and blame. This is our learn from it. Absolutely.
This is like if a volcano erupted.
Exactly.
I mean, these are things that maybe we can learn from it, but it's very different when a river has no boundaries. You can't, it's not a man-made structure. A river is a natural, it's a natural landform, and that water can get out of the banks very easily. It's not like a Lake Travis that is a man-made structure, yeah, there's flooding, and then, humans, of course, we do things that change the landscape and we can affect change, of course. I know that. But I'm hoping that we learn from it, that this never happens again, that the devastation is stopped. But I did hear somebody say, when bad things happen in our world, look at all the people that come out and help. Look at the helpers. Focus on that. And then see how you can be somebody that's a helper. I mean, I'm hearing, of course, there are horrible people in this world, unfortunately, that are doing terrible things to the victims' families right now, which I hope that they are prosecuted to the most extent of the law. When you are adding to somebody else's terrible misery, you need to check yourself. Like, we need to all be in this together. We need to think about, like, these are people's family members. These are people's homes. These are people's, all the animals that got swept away. This is ongoing, and it's going to have a lasting effect on so many people. Mystic has been around since, I think it's 1924. It has a very long history in this area. People from all over the world have come to this camp from so many families and walks of life. And it's been such a blessing to so many people. And I want to that history. I know everybody was doing their very best. It was started in 1926. It was started by a University of Texas coach, Doc Stewart, who he coached two sports. He was the head football coach and the men's basketball coach. And he led the football team to an undefeated season in 1923, and in basketball had a perfect record, 23-0. And they won the Southwest Conference Championship. He was a giver. His family had a long legacy of giving. They wanted to have an incredible impact on the children and help people to grow. And that camp did beautiful things for people since 1926. So this is a terrible time for the people that started this legacy, and they definitely touched so many people's lives in trying to create a safe, beautiful place for people to come together and grow and change and learn about the world around them and all the different beautiful relationships that they built. I know Shelley was talking to her friend Angela, who went to Mystic herself, and just that some of her best friends she still keeps contact with from Mystic.
One of the things I've seen, quite a few of our friends went to Mystic, Jody, and it's just incredible. Carrie Key's kids. There's a huge fundraiser going on right now. There's a couple at Camp Mystic. If you don't want a s'more, they have this thing called a Tweety cookie, and there's quite a few people out there making Tweety cookies as a fundraiser. They're putting together care packages for, the survivors from that just left Camp Mystic, that got out of there in time.
Yes. Wow.
But look up the Tweety cookies, and lots of ways to volunteer and donate to Kerr County. I think people that don't live in Texas, I think it's important to know is that area is where we have quite a few camps down in that area. Luckily, with the 4th of July holiday, a lot of those camps were closed. And so the owner of Heart of the Hills camp, she passed away and was such an icon in the area. They didn't have a camp running that day because the 4th. Coulter Special Needs Camp is right down the road from Mystic. And luckily they, had the week off for the 4th. But the camp it has no power and no Wi-Fi and has a huge cleanup project going on, trying to get ready for campers so that they can come back next week. And there's a lot of need in that area in Georgetown and other areas. And, it's not, yes, Camp Mystic, tragic. But there's a huge need in all of the surrounding area, and not to take away from Camp Mystic at all, but there's a lot of recovering that is going to take years to get everything back to stable. One of our very dear friends, Leticia, her brother's house washed away, and now he is unhomed. And one of our high school friends and her 2 children, her son has been found up in the Leander area and is deceased. And, everybody's energy is focused down in Kerr, and they're having a hard time getting volunteers to help in the other areas, which if you have time and keep in mind the other areas in need. Kingsland, where our baby sister Amy lives, there's a lot of need in that area. Luckily, her house is very high up, and Lake LBJ and such. I mean, just tragic. But growing up here, we've seen this every 4 to 5 years. I'd have to say, like, areas that have hurricanes, you have a tendency to go, oh, hurricane, how bad is it going to be? And
I'll write it out.
I'll write it out. I'll write it out.
It is, and like, it can cause more stress on the system if you try to write out those things instead of evacuating when you can, because what it can do is, if somebody has to come save you after, then you're putting more stress on the situation. So
well, not
if you can evacuate,
if you can
evacuate,
yeah,
try to evacuate. Some people cannot evacuate, so it's just, everybody's doing their best. As for those Tweety cookies, one of the owners and the people that, her name was James Eastland, son of Dick and Tweety, was one of the owners, Tweety. So I think the cookies were named after her.
Oh,
they're cowboy cookies. So that's a great way to do something in memory of that, and then all the proceeds. But make sure you're sending the proceeds to proper channels where the money can be utilized. You don't want to get scammed at this time. Unfortunately, sometimes that can happen. But there's a great recipe, aka Cowboy cookies, for Camp Mystic. You can look at it online, and it's a great recipe. But what a great way to honor the history, but also to help the areas around Central Texas to recover in whatever way, but also just don't forget to just pray for these people that have lost so much. What a devastating thing.
It's so devastating. And you out-of-staters that are like, why? I have to tell you, as an Austinite, it's so interesting. Most Austinites, we don't even have umbrellas. Like, we don't even, we're like,
well, if you Graham has like 30. So Graham loves an umbrella. I worked in a portable, so I have a lot of rain gear because we do have a rainy season, actually, Shelly, but it came at a different time this year. Usually it's like April, May. And this year it waited until July. That's weird. We usually have a lot of rain about April, May, like April showers kind of situation. But occasionally we've had rainy summers. Those are actually very nice summers, not flash flood rainy summers, but when it keeps the temperature below 100, that is like, oh, thank goodness. But this is an all-time different level of rain, a completely different level of rain. But I hear you, Shelly. We're ill prepared for a lot of weather, because in Austin it's pretty predictable, our weather. It's either hot, balmy, or occasionally we'll have a little chill, which is like 70 degrees, 80 degrees.
That's winter.
That's winter for us. So we do not suffer from a lot of extreme weather, but we do have flash floods, like Shelly was saying, Shoal Creek, which runs right down the west side of Austin. It floods quite a bit. They've done a lot of work to it, so it's gotten a lot better. It used to flood all the time when we were kids. Do you remember, Shelly?
Oh yeah. Well, Onion Creek in southeast Austin that goes out to McKinney Falls, it floods all the time. And they finally, after years and years of flooding, they stopped letting houses be built over there. Finally.
Yes.
But there used to be a whole neighborhood on top of this marsh. And just constantly flooded, and there's still areas that have issues, but but we're humans, and humans aren't perfect, and we've all been doing rain dances for so long, it bit us in the ass. I mean, that's but it's tragic. Please donate. Please volunteer if you have time. Pray for us. Pray for all these families suffering, and hope they can find peace. And hopefully everybody is found, so these families can attempt to heal.
Right.
And so just tragic.
Yeah. Anyway, we love all of you out there. We're thinking of you. I cannot imagine how people keep moving, but you have love and support around you. Lean into your community. Don't isolate yourself at this time. We all need each other to make it through this big, tragic moment, for sure. So, Shelly, thank you for all your prayers. You and I got to see each other yesterday, and it was lovely just gathering for a moment to just be in each other's presence and lift up those people and their names, and come together to not even try to make sense of the tragedy, but try to be with each other during this difficult time. And but anyway, there's so many people out there that need our help right now in our prayers. So let's just keep sending positive energy to all of the people. And let's do human things for humanity. Let's be kind to one another. Let's protect one another. And
don't be divisive. Don't be divisive. Don't point fingers. Don't blame.
It's time for us to come together for these families. So, anyway, so thank you, Shelley. Thanks for having this book club. We will share some books next time. I have some good ones. But right now, our thoughts, I haven't been able to consume a lot because I've been so consumed with just praying and hoping for these families. And but we will share hopefully some lighter good news in the next couple of weeks. But to the families that are suffering and to the people that have lost so much, we are thinking of you. We are here for you. So.
And we will, in the notes, we will add some opportunities to donate to organizations that we are aware of that are not scamming anybody. And, there's a huge need,
Which if you are doing things like that, that's disgusting. So stop being a disgusting person. Be a good human, period. Exclamation point. So
please,
we do not need that. Nobody needs that. No. Be a decent human. That's all we ask for in this world, to be surrounded by decent people. So yes, we will put in the show notes. That's a great idea, Shelley. Yes. Anyway, I love you. I'm glad you're safe. You. And I'm glad that our family's safe. But I do think a lot about all our other friends that are suffering right now. So we are suffering in our hearts with you, but we are praying for...
We're praying for you, Alyssa Martin.
Yes. Yeah, we are praying. Okay. Love you, Shelley.
Love you. Texas.
Yeehaw.